Welcome into Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts for a matchup in the Patriot Cup, matchup number 3 between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Cotuit Kettleers. Hyannis comes into this ball game hosting a record of 12-7-2 after drawing on in their previous game, that coming back on Thursday night against the YD Red Sox 7-7 in 8 innings. Meanwhile, Cotuit 9-10-1, sitting at last in the Western Division, tied with the Falmouth Commodores. They've lost 2 in a row and currently are 3-6-1 in their last 10, in desperate need of a win to climb their way back atop the Western Division. Starting pitcher tonight I'm your host, Lyle Goldstein, here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. And the starting pitcher tonight for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks will be left-hander Jordan Fowler, 6'3", 160-pound man out of Ole Miss University. Just finished his freshman year there. And in his previous start, this will be his 4th appearance on the year. He took the loss against the Wareham Gatemen in a 17-4 contest. It was a team loss, I should say. 2 1/3 innings pitched. Fowler gave up 3 earned runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and struck out 3. It'll be his first time seeing Cotuit this season, the arch rival of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And Cotuit, well, they'll counter with their quote-unquote ace in Ball State product, John Baker. 6'3", 207-pound right-hander. He's set to make his 5th appearance on the summer. He's coming off 6 innings against the YD Red Sox, where he gave up 4 runs on 11 hits, but struck out 3. It was his weakest start of the year, as he had only allowed 2 earned runs in his first 17 innings of the summer, both those runs coming in a 4-1 loss against the Bourne Braves. But Cotuit looking to get their way back to 500 and pick up their 10th win of the season here against the Harbor Hawks today. Meanwhile, Hyannis looking to pick up win number 13 and stay in line with the Wareham Gatemen, who they currently trail in the standings by just 1 point. Wareham today, they're set to face off against the Falmouth Commodores, who are tied with the Cotuit Kettleers for last in the Western Division. But meanwhile, the matchup at hand here at Lowell Park, Hyannis and Cotuit. Well, the Harbor Hawks in Thursday's contest, as I mentioned, tied 7-7 against the YD Red Sox, their 2nd draw of the season, and we'll take you back to that right now and relive it through the highlights here from our SoundCloud page.
Game number 21 on the Cape Cod League season coming up in just a few moments here for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. I'm Chris Lucey. Lyle Goldstein is my broadcast partner. And today, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in an interdivisional matchup coming in at 12-7-1 take on the YD Red Sox at 12-6-2. Pitch he sees out in the left field on the ground for a base hit. Davis Wenzel comes home to score. And it's bobbled in left field by Cotton. Another run coming in to score right behind him, Braden Como. Seth Gray going to second base, cruising into third, Matt Barefoot. And Hyannis jumps out front 2-0 with 1 down here in the top of the first. Side through for a base hit. Colin Hall coming towards third base. He's given the stop sign by Chad Gaspin as he rounds the bag. The throw comes in wild from right field, getting past the cutoff man as Davis Wenzel up to second base. Risha eventually picking up the ball, the catcher getting it. So Colin Hall stays put at third. And on the knock from Davis Wenzel, who advances to second on the throw. There's runners now on second and third on the single from Davis Wenzel. Back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, alongside Lyle Goldstein, I'm Chris Lucey. Hyannis has scraped a run across in each inning so far. They lead 3-0.
Pitch swinging a line drive down the left field line, gets into the corner, and that could be extra bases. Andrew Jasper rounding third, heading home. Goldstein in with no throw, cut off to Davis Wenzel, and a 2-out double for the hitter in Zach Ashford to knock this thing up at 7-7. We're back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, and the game is called here at Red Wilson Field on an account of darkness, as the game is finished at a 7-7 tie. Those are your highlights for you from Thursday's game. A 7-7 draw between YD and Hyannis. Darkness was the factor of the tie ball game. Couldn't finish the game at Red Wilson Field. The field has no lights, much like this home field in beautiful Cotuit at Lowell Park. Much reason for the early start time today of 5 o'clock. But YD, even with that tie, they still sit atop the East Division by 5 points, leading Harwich with 26, the Mariners with 21 points of their own. And as I mentioned a minute ago, Wareham sitting atop the West Division, 26 points of their own. Hyannis trailing by just 1 with 25. The big double from Zach Ashford in the bottom of the 8th inning tied that game up at 7-7 on Thursday night before Dylan Thomas slammed the door after that, preventing any further damage to keep it deadlocked at 7 apiece. But no further play out at Red Wilson Field as that game was drawn 7-7. Now the lineups here for today's game for both teams, starting with your Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Davis Wenzel out of Baylor leading off. He'll be at third base, followed by Braden Como, the right second baseman. Matthew Barefoot in the number 3 spot tonight, playing left field out of Campbell. Trevor Hopper finds his way back into the cleanup spot, the ASU right fielder. He'll be followed by Pedro Pages doing the catching tonight out of Florida Atlantic. Seth Gray getting back at the designated hitter spot tonight, a night off from the field and the hot corners. He'll hit 6th, followed by Brady Lindsley hitting 7th. Will Holland out of Auburn getting his first Harbor Hawks start of the summer. He made 1 at bat and a pinch hit on Thursday against the YD Red Sox where he struck out swinging. But he'll be in the number 8 spot, playing shortstop, and rounding out the 9, UCSB center fielder Tommy Jew. And as I mentioned, Jordan Fowler, starting pitcher for the Harbor Hawks. Turning things over to the hometown team in the Cotuit Kettleers, Duke Ellis leading off out of Texas, followed by Will Robertson, the Creighton right fielder. He's been the hottest hitter for the Cotuit Kettleers this summer, hitting just .273, as Cotuit has struggled from time to time to muster up enough offense. But Robertson putting together a nice summer of his own. He'll be followed by Michael Tolia, who had 2 long balls last night, broke out of an 0 for 18 slump, finds his way into the number 3 spot and playing first base. Thomas Dillard doing the cleanup duties, the designated hitter out of Ole Miss, followed by Ryan Reynolds, no relation to the actor, out of Texas playing third base. Peyton Burdick hitting 6th out of Wright State playing left field. Corey Wood hitting 7th playing second. He plays his college ball at Coastal Carolina. And for the 8-9, Mike Salvatore, the Florida State shortstop, and Zach Humphreys, the catcher, out of TCU. And one more time, Cotuit starting pitcher, Ball State right-hander John Baker. We'll take a quick break here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks pregame show and then come back shortly where we'll have an interview from our field reporter, Dani Terzer, and then I'll sit down and talk to first half play-by-play man, Robert Marcello, about the keys to the upcoming game. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks pregame show. I'm your host, Lyle Goldstein, on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. We'll be right back. We're back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks pregame show. I'm your host, Lyle Goldstein. Hyannis and Cotuit set to square off in just about 15 minutes here at Lowell Park. Well, one of the hottest men in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks order, and on the Cape for that matter, that's Rice second baseman Braden Como. Comes into the day second on the team in average, hitting a whopping .338, already over 20 hits on the summer. And our field reporter, Dani Terzer, had a chance to catch up with them, I should say, before the game. Dani getting a chance to talk to Braden here early on, and we have it here right here for you on the pregame show. Take a listen.
I'm here with Braden Como. Braden, we're almost at midway in this season. You've had 22 hits through 19 games, one of the best batting averages in the Western Division as well. What can you point to as the key to your success?
I think the main thing I focus on when I go up to the plate is so the pitchers in the Cape here throw harder than the normal pitchers I see during the season. So what I try to do is stay calm, stay relaxed, and just make sure my foot gets down on time so I can start my swing on time.
What does your pregame preparation look like to keep you consistent every day?
So like I said, during batting practice, I try to, if anything, I try to miss early because I know when I get to the game, everything's going to get sped up. So I try to just stay relaxed in BP. I know that some of the fields are small, like the wind will blow out. So I try to just not try to hit them over the fence, just kind of stay back up the middle and stuff like that.
You've transferred 3 times in your college baseball career. You'll be a redshirt junior at Rice University in the fall. How do you think your path has affected your game?
I think it's just taught me a lot about adversity and how to deal with it because, I mean, transferring from 3 schools and stuff like that, things weren't always easy for me. So baseball's kind of the same way. Things don't always go your way. So I guess it's really just taught me how to deal with the struggles.
Thanks, Braden.
You got it.
All right, Dani, thank you very much. She caught up with Braden Como before the game, and Braden, as you heard in the interview, he is off to a scorching hot season here on the Cape League on the islands. Braden is, again, .338, 20 hits through his first 19 games. He'll be hitting second and playing second like he often does for this Harbor Hawks squad tonight at Lowell Park against the Cotuit Kettleers. I'm joined now by first half play-by-play man Robert Marcello. Rob, thanks for joining me, buddy.
Not a problem, anytime.
So let's just get things off. Let's get this things off to a good start. Now, Hyannis and Cotuit, they'll be squaring off for the 3rd time here in the Patriot Cup. It'll be Jordan Fowler's first time seeing this Cotuit ball club. And at times this season, they've struggled to swing the bats. Their highest hitter in terms of average, that's Will Robertson at .273. And Hyannis itself has often swung the bats well, but just couldn't capitalize. But starting off with Cotuit's offense and Jordan Fowler, what is going to be the key for him to really take advantage of a struggling offense and lineup in the Kettleers, who currently sit tied for last in the Western Division?
I think he definitely just has to get them off balance, use his pitches well, just really command his pitches very well, and then also, get ahead of counts early and get off to a hot start.
And we've talked about that a lot here with Jordan Fowler because we've done a couple post-game shows together where he's been the starting pitcher. And with Fowler, his key is he's not going to blow anybody away with his heat, but what he does well is he commands the zone, he can pound the corners, and he uses his off-speed and his breaking stuff to really keep hitters off balance. So I think that's going to be the key for him today against these Kettleers, if you'd agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now for Cotuit, they're throwing their ace in John Baker. He's coming off his weakest start of the summer where he allowed 4 earned runs in his previous start, but in his first 17 innings, he allowed just 2 earned runs. Now for him today, against this Hyannis offense, and we've seen this Hyannis lineup leave a lot of guys on base, what is going to be Baker's key to keeping Hyannis off balance, much like his counterpart in Fowler trying to keep Cotuit off balance? What's going to be Baker's key?
I think definitely to try to attempt to throw pitches just a little outside of the zone. You throw strikes in there every single time. The Harbor Hawks are eventually going to hit him. We've seen that pretty much all year long where the Harbor Hawks have gotten down early. The pitchers really have kind of let them back in the game. But definitely if Cotuit takes the lead early, he has to shut it down.
And just quickly touching on the Hyannis offense, is there anything you're seeing during these games with runners on base, and sometimes they just fail to capitalize? Even against YD the other night when they put up 7 runs, they still left 11 runners on base. Is there anything you're seeing that maybe they could tweak a little bit and take advantage of today against a struggling Cotuit team?
I think they're just putting too much on themselves. I think they just have to relax, calm down, take pitch by pitch and be able to score runs.
Well, Rob, as always, I thank you so much for tuning in with me and giving your 2 cents on the keys to today's ball game. That was Robert Marcello, first half play-by-play man. You can catch him on the first half of the call in just about 10 minutes. Post-game show just about wrapping up, but quickly to take you around the rest of the league. Over at Stony Brook Field in Brewster, the Whitecaps will be squaring off against the YD Red Sox. Spillane Field. Tyler Dyson on the mound for the Falmouth Commodores, opposing Cade Cavalli and the Wareham Gatemen. That taking place at Spillane Field, just off the Cape in Wareham. Doran Park in Bourne, the Braves welcome in the Orleans Firebirds. Cade Meckles, the starter for Orleans tonight. They sit at 4th place in the Eastern Conference, taking on an interdivision foe in Bourne. Veterans Field, Chatham, Massachusetts. Anglers welcome in the Harwich Mariners. Harwich making just about a 10-minute drive down the road to take on Chatham, who's currently sitting at 3rd in the East Division, trailing Harwich by just 1 point. So big game for both of those clubs. And then, of course, here at Lowell Park, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks taking on the Cotuit Kettleers. Jordan Fowler squaring off against John Baker. Fowler 1-1 on the year. Baker sits at 2-2. That'll wrap up the pregame show here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. I'm your host, Lyle Goldstein. You can catch me in the 4th inning for the Around the League update, as well as on this very network again for the postgame show, as well as Hawk Talk, our video postgame wrap-up, which you can always catch on our Hyannis Harbor Hawks YouTube page. We thank you so much for tuning into the pregame show, and we'll catch you again in about 10 minutes. Chris Lucey and Robert Marcello on the call for tonight's game. Hyannis versus Cotuit coming up shortly on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Works Media copyright.
Time for lineups and first pitch on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome here to Lowell Park. Here in Cotuit, I am Robert Marcello, alongside Chris Lucey, as we have today the third game of the Patriot League Cup, as the Hyannis Harborhawks are on the road against the Cotuit Kettleers.
And it is an absolutely crucial game for the Hawks, Robert. As you mentioned, the Patriot Cup Series, always something that everyone in the town of Barnstable keeps their eye on, because this is the only town in the Cape with two ball clubs, them being the Kettleers and the Harborhawks. And also, there's a lot of playoff implications in this game as well, as Hyannis is still in second place, trying to get themselves back into a share of first with Wareham. Meanwhile, Cotuit is knotted at fourth place with the Falmouth Commodores, who share that spot with them with 20 points each. So a win today will possibly help the Cotuit Kettleers stay out of the cellar if Falmouth is able to pick up a win. And meanwhile, Hyannis is not only trying to get an edge in a Patriot Cup League, a Patriot Cup Series that they haven't won since 2015, but just still continue to jockey for position and the top spot going into the Western Division playoffs and try to contend for a championship.
They sure are, and the man to kind of lead them here today for the Harborhawks is Jordan Fowler. Out of Ole Miss, he's on the mound. What do you expect from him today, Chris?
Well, Jordan Fowler has been, impressive at times for the Harborhawks this year, but there have also been times where he's been hit around just a little bit. I mean, 5 innings in a win against Orleans, he was impressive. Only 3 earned runs in those 5 innings, saved the bullpen. But then in 2 1/3 against Wareham in his previous outing, he took the loss for 2 1/3, 3 earned runs, 4 hits over that time. I mean, he's not going to blow you away with velocity, and he tries to spot up well. But if you're spotting up with around 86, 87 miles per hour, if you leave it close enough to the plate, hitters in this league will feast on it, because it's not really up to the par that other pitchers set when they're throwing low to mid-90s on a consistent basis. So Fowler just has to dance his way around bats. He and Coach Korn have been working on a 2-seam fastball that'll help set up the fastball a little bit better, and then mix it in, of course, with that slider and then the dastardly changeup that he has, which is, for my money, one of the best in the Cape.
It sure is, and his counterpart for Cotuit is John Baker out of Ball State. What do you expect from him today?
Well, I actually expect similar things from him. He's not someone who will blow you away with velocity either. He sits around the high to mid-80s as well, but a guy that pounds the strike zone, and he's done it to great effect so far in the Cape League season. A 2-2 record, 2.34 ERA in 4 games started, 23 innings pitched. He struck out 21, and Robert, this is the cherry on top, he's only walked 1 batter. So he's been able to get around these bats quite well in this league, and he's your classic well, not a classic really, fastball changeup slider, fastball curveball slider, excuse me. Usually you hear fastball curveball changeup, but he has some pitches with some serious motion on them, and not necessarily pitches that kind of go up and down. They'll just dip.
Definitely so. The lineup for the Harborhawks today, leading off, is Davis Wenzel playing third, Braden Como, number 9, playing second base. Third man in the order is Matthew Barefoot at left field. Trevor Harver is in right field. Pedro Pages is catching. Seth Gray is the DH. Freddie Lindsley is at first base. William Hollins is the shortstop. Tommy Jews at center field. And the pitcher for today for the Hyannis Harborhawks is Jordan Fowler.
And Fowler will be going against a lineup that leads off pretty well. A guy in Duke Ellis coming out of Texas, the center fielder, really is somebody that the Harborhawks have to keep an eye out for today. Had a very good season down in Austin playing for the Longhorns, a team that got into the College World Series for the first time in a couple of years and didn't make necessarily a lot of noise when they got to Omaha, but still somebody that the Harborhawks are going to have to try and work their way around at the top of that order.
Leading off for the Harborhawks is Davis Wenzel. Baylor Bear out of the Big 12 Conference. And the first pitch is in for a strike right down the heart of the plate here at Lowell Park. That was sitting at 87 miles per hour.
And that's the beauty of Lowell Park, too. They have that speedometer on the outfield wall.
That is a laser out to right field. And the right fielder is on to catch it. Is Will Robertson able to make the first out?
Take a look around the umpiring crew as well. Joe Peters is manning the thing behind home plate. Joe Caraco is down by first, and over at third base, Pat Burns.
Braden Como now the second man in the order for the Harbor Hawks. A quick first out here in the top of the first. 0-0 if you're joining us. First pitch in Como is in for a strike, sitting at 86. You're definitely right, Chris. He definitely doesn't dazzle you in the high 90s. Definitely stays even keel. That is a ground ball to the first baseman. He'll throw it back over to Baker for the second out.
Helps when you work quickly as well, keeping hitters off balance, giving them pitches that seem pretty good to chew on, but the pitches move a little bit, and if you miss your mark, you miss your mark.
2 quick outs here in the top of the first. Matthew Barefoot now up. That pitch is high for a ball. First Harbor Hawk to be able to get ahead in the at-bat so far today. 1-0 pitch. That is a foul ball. Just goes right behind us and into the woods. A late afternoon start here at Lowell Park. 5 o'clock start as they do not have lights here. As 2 days ago we were in Yarmouth, Dennis. That's a strike inside. Just catches the inside part of the plate. Barefoot shaking his head. Quickly down 1-2. 1-2 pitch. That's pitch inside, but this time call the ball. Sitting at 91. Up next in the order is Trevor Harver. 2-2 pitch. That is a ground ball that gets past the third baseman and will get down the line. And Matthew Barefoot's going to run to second, but heads back to first. And a 2-out single as their first man on today for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, that was Ryan Reynolds over there at third, making a nice attempt to dive at the ball, but just unable to pick it up. Michael Tsoli is across the infield, holding on the runner over at first. Playing second base, Corey Wood. Shortstop, Michael Salvatore, taking around the infield. Catching, Zach Humphreys.
Trevor Harver now up. Fourth man in the order. Barefoot taking a small lead off of first. First pitch is in. That's in for a strike. Sitting at 84 miles per hour.
As you mentioned earlier, Rob, Will Robertson is over in right field, and left field, Peyton Burdick, and wrapping up in center, Duke Ellis out of Texas.
Pitch is in to Harvard. That is a ball just outside. 1-1 count. Didn't catch the edge of the plate. Barefoot continuing to take a small lead off of first. 1-1 pitch. That is in for a strike. Catches the outside part of the plate. Harvard quickly down 1-2 in the count. Harvard just speaking to the umpire quickly, but everything's all right. Baker in the set. Looks back to first. Barefoot doesn't have to slide, though. Count still at 1-2. Nothing. 2 outs here in the top of the first. Man on first, though, as Barefoot hit a laser down the line. He'll now throw back to first, and Barefoot will slide in, but he'll be safe.
Trevor in the midst of a solid season for Hyannis. Batting .257 in 35 at-bats, has 9 hits. Pair of doubles, too.
On a cloud in the sky today here in Cotuit. 1-2 pitch. Barefoot's going. That is a foul ball. Lands just right near the Kettleers dugout. They probably have the nicer dugouts in all of Cape Cod. Definitely not old-fashioned, I'll tell you that, the new school. Still 1-2 count. Harvard trying to get on base. 1-2 pitch, but he'll have to throw back to first. Barefoot sliding in, and he'll be safe. Barefoot just continuing to inch up there as he went off on that 1-2 count when Harvard fouled the ball back. Baker in the set. Throws back to first. He'll be safe again. And it's ad nauseum here as he continues to throw.
They don't want to play a slow game here either, as there are no lights over Lowell Park, and Hyannis has already been burned with a tie once this year. Twice now.
1-2 pitch. That pitch is high for the ball. Count sits at 2-2. Chris, we were both on the call the game that it was in Chatham and the fog rolled in.
And Hyannis had to settle for another tie in their previous game against YD.
Goes bats first again. Count still sits at 2-2. His first inning was moving along very quickly as it looked like the Harbor Hawks were going to go 1-2-3, but Matthew Barefoot decided to change that as a laser down the third base side. That is a ground ball that gets off the pitcher, and Hauver will be able to get on base as that was a laser right up the middle. Baker able to stop it with his foot, though. Now be runners at first and second with 2 out.
Yeah, not an easy play for a pitcher to make there. The ball just laced right up the middle, and a little bit scary, too, to see him take one off the foot like that. But same time, a blessing in disguise right there. That gets up the middle. Matt Barefoot's so fast, he might be able to stretch that from first to third.
Pedro Page is now up. 5th man in the Harbor Hawks order. Trying to get an early run for the Harbor Hawks here in the top of the first. Both runners still on their bases, and now they lead off the bag, no one covering them. First pitch to Pedro Pages is in for a strike. A little high, but they call it a strike. The shade now starting to cover over the Cotuit Kettleers bullpen. Moving towards third base. A 1 pitch. That is a foul ball, lands just behind us in the woods. Quickly down 0-2 is Pages with 2 outs here in the top of the first. 2 runners on.
Pages had a bounce-back game against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox earlier just the other day. After having a 3-game hitless streak, he had 2 knocks.
0-2 pitch. That pitch is high right around Pedro Pages' shoulder. That now sits at 1-2. 2 outs, 2 men on base. Harbor Hawks trying to get out to an early lead. That is a ground ball back to the pitcher. He'll throw it on to first and be able to get it. 2 hits the Harbor Hawks get, but unable to score any runs. The Cotuit Kettleers will be up in the bottom of the first. We'll be right back here in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back here in the bottom of the first. Leadoff man for the Kettleers is Duke Ellis out of Texas, center fielder. First pitch is in. That ball is high for a ball. Count quickly sets at 1-0. 1-0 pitch. That pitch is in for a strike.
And I was giving Duke Ellis a good deal of hype coming into this broadcast because he's one of a couple of Texas players that have come out and made a splash after a long run in the World Series.
That pitch is fouled back, hit off one of the posts behind home plate. Count now is at 1-2. Quickly to Duke Ellis. 1-2 pitch. In for a strike looking. And that is Fowler's first strikeout of the day on his first at bat.
Looks like the curveball from Fowler right there, just dipping in beautifully over the outer half of the plate.
Now up Will Robertson out of Creighton, the right fielder for the Kettleers. First pitch of the at bat is in. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He'll throw it on to first, and Holland throws it over to Pedro Pages for the second out. Here in the bottom of the first.
Holland is someone Harbor Hawks fans have all the reason in the world to be excited about coming into this year. Coach Gassman said it himself. He's one of the best shortstop. He was arguably the best shortstop in college baseball, period.
Michael Toglia. Now up 2 quick outs in the bottom of the first. That first pitch is in for a ball. Count sits at 1-0. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first. 1-0 pitch. That ground ball is fouled, almost lands into the Cotuit bench. But everyone's all right down there. Count sits at 1-1. One pitch in. That is a ground ball foul off of Taglia's foot, but he's all right. Our pregame host, Lyle Goldstein, was talking to Michael before the game in batting practice, and both mentioned they lived in Washington together. So they definitely have that connection. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that's the second strikeout of the day for Fowler. The Kettleers go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. Score still 0-0. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the top of the second. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucey.
To lead off the top of the second inning is Seth Gray. First pitch right down the heart of the plate for a strike. Seth Gray quickly down 1-0 in the count. Nobody out here in the top of the second. That is a ground ball to the third baseman, Reynolds. He'll throw it on to first for the first out here in the top of the second.
Yeah, Seth Gray not getting the chance to notch hit number 17 on the season, but 333 batting average and 48 at-bats. He's been having a great campaign for the Harbor Hawks.
Brady Lindsley now up the second man to bat in this inning. Quick first out as Seth Gray grounded to the third baseman. Pitches in. That is a foul ball from Lindsley. Lands right into the Cotuit bullpen here at Lowell Park. Their bullpen's right near their dugout. Why the Harbor Hawks bullpen is out in the outfield and right field. 0-1 pitch. It's just high for a ball. Sweeping curveball didn't land the way he wanted to. 1-1 pitch. That is a ground ball to the second baseman. He has it in his glove. He'll throw it on to first for the second out. Corey Wood on the play.
Nifty little play right there on the infielder from Coastal Carolina. Just had to charge in, throw across his body, but still just getting the speeding runner in Lindsley for that second out.
Will Holland now up, only his second at bat of the season as he showed up to the team late.
Spent a little bit of time with Team USA, so just trying to play for the country.
Sure did. Swing and a miss. That high fastball was Holland. Hyannis has 2 hits to Cotuit's none. Fowler pitched magnificent in the first. That pitch in the same exact spot, but Holland did not offer it at this time. Count now sits at 1-1. That pitch at 89 miles per hour.
Holland was very impressive playing for Auburn this year.
That pitch is high. Count sits at 2-1. SEC guy. Definitely one of the best conferences to play really in the country in the NCAA. 2-1 pitch. That pitch is also high. Now sits a count at 3-1. All of them really in the same exact spot. But Holland just swung at the first one.
Just trying to hunt that fastball.
3-1 pitch. That is fouled off right back at us. Holland must have not liked the stat. It was just the second at bat of the season.
No, but in 222 for the Tigers this year, he hit .315 and led the team with a .532 slugging percentage.
Count now sits at full 3-2. The pitch is in. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks unable to do anything in this inning as they go 1-2-3. Cotuit will be up in the bottom of the second. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
To lead it off here in the bottom of the second is Thomas Dillard. Thomas Dillard goes to Ole Miss. Ole Miss on Ole Miss to start the bottom of the second. That first pitch is low in the dirt. Pages attempts to get it, but goes right past his glove. This is definitely an interesting matchup. Two teammates heading off against each other.
Absolutely.
0-1 pitch. That pitch does not catch the outside part of the plate. Now count sits at 2-0. Fowler worked very quickly in the first. See if he can do the same in the second. 2-0 pitch. That pitch gets past Page's count, now sits at 3-0.
Well, it'll be tough for Fowler really to sneak anything by his Ole Miss teammate today.
3-0 pitch. That's get me over fastball, sitting at 89. That now sits at 3-1.
I mean, Dillard catches for him at Ole Miss, so he knows exactly what to expect, and that's what he said during BP today, too.
3-1 pitch. That's ball 4, and the first walk of the day, and really the first runner on base today for Cotuit as a leadoff walk. Gets the Kettleers going in the bottom of the second. Ryan Reynolds, now a Texas Longhorn, along with his teammate in the lineup today, Duke Ellis.
And as our pregame host, Lyle Goldstein, so astutely mentioned, no relation to the actor Ryan Reynolds, who's starring in the new Deadpool 2 coming out this summer.
Runner at first, nobody out in the bottom of the second. 0-0. First pitch into Reynolds is fouled off.
This Ryan Reynolds, not much for the movies, but his father spent 13 seasons in the big leagues pitching for the Houston Astros.
Very nice. 1-0 pitch. That is in for a strike. Off-speed pitch. Dillard over at first. First thought about taking off because Fowler really wasn't paying attention. Then he looked over. Down quickly at 0-2. Throws back to first. Gets in a pickoff and misses the throw. And the runner will advance all the way to third base, standing up. Brady Lindsley over at first. Caught the ball from Fowler. Tried to throw it over to shortstop. Will Holland missed it. And now the runner will be sent third.
Tough break right there for Fowler. He's had some tough breaks generally with guys behind him, maybe getting errors here and there. And as an inexperienced guy going into only his sophomore year, that definitely shakes you up mentally. So now he has to bear down.
Sure does. Counts does sit at 0-2. Pitch is just outside for a ball. Pages tried to frame it back in the zone, but the home plate umpire did not offer.
Want to get that slider in there for a strike.
Runner at third. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 at that low changeup, and there'll be one gone. Peyton Burdick now up right state, a teammate of Seth Gray. The DH today for the Harbor Hawks.
Mitchell Scorer just chimed in that error at second base has been charged to the first baseman Lindsley, who airmailed the throw and sent Thomas Dillard over to third.
Pitch is in. That's a ball just high, sitting at 80 miles per hour. Man at third is Dillard. One out in the bottom of the first. Duke trying to get off to an early lead. 0-1 pitch. That's foul ball. Now Kent sits at 1-1.
Mike Roberts scooping up that foul ball on the fly in between, giving some signs to everybody. Veteran coach for this Cotuit Ball Club.
Pitch is in. That pitch just high. Count sits at 2-1. Man still at third. 1 out in the bottom of the second. Score is 0-0. Hyannis has 2 hits, but they do have an error, and that potentially could play costly to them.
First run of the game stands 90 feet away from scoring, and it got there because of that error.
2-1 pitch, fouls off. Now count sits at even at 2-2. To Peyton Burdick. On deck for the Kettleers is Corey Wood out of Coastal Carolina. Two-two pitch. That is a laser that gets past the shortstop and the third baseman. It'll be 1-0 Cotuit. Here is that error plays costly.
Game 3 of the Patriot Cup Series, Rob. You do not want to be making mistakes early on because you don't know how the rest of this game will necessarily play out. This might be the best chance that the Kettleers are able to get all game long with a pretty solid Harbor Hawks pitching staff and a guy in Jordan Fowler who usually will only allow a couple runs per game. So you don't want Fowler to get jumped on early, and you certainly don't want to give Cotuit a lead because this is a ball club that is playing for a bit more.
Corey Wood now up. That first pitch in for a strike. High fastball sitting at 91. There is a man at first. And Peyton Burdick.
Corey Wood batting 200, 10 for 50 on the Cape League season. Is batted in a pair of runs.
0-1 pitch. That is a ball high. Now 1-1. One pitch. Runner goes at first. Pages throws down to second, and he'll be safe. And a stolen base by Peyton Burdick. And now there'll be another runner at scoring position. You're already up 1-0.
Burdick got a very nice jump on that play, and the right state product was able to slide in well before the tag applied by Will Holland.
2-1 is the count. There is a runner at scoring position at second. 2-1 pitch. That's in for a strike low. And now sits back at 2-2, 92 miles per hour.
And the worst part about that is for Fowler is already Peyton Burdick is on with an RBI single, but that almost makes it a de facto double because he's able to slide right over onto second for free.
And now sits at 2-2. Runner thought about going at second. Throws it in there. Just foul is Wood. Catches the end of the bat. There, and Burdick really trying to confuse Fowler there. It looked like he was going to go to third. They went right back.
He was all Horizon League first team this year, and ABCA Rawlings first team all region too, out in the Midwest.
Looks back to second base. Burdick goes back. Cotuit already up 1-0 if you're joining us here in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. In the bottom of the second, Fowler very quick the first inning, but Kettleers not being silenced. Swing and a miss, strike 3 at that high fastball, sitting at 90 miles per hour. Mike Salvatore out of Florida State. Now up with 2 outs and a runner at second. Here in the bottom of the second. Up after that is the 9th man in the order, Zach Humphreys. First pitch is in, and that will get down to the right fielder. And that run is about to come in, and it is. And it is now 2-0 here.
Again, the stolen base turning that single into a double almost. And, of course, the Corey Wood strikeout definitely a confidence booster for Fowler, but he just left one over the heart of the plate. And when you're not someone who's going to blow guys away or make them miss at speed, then that's going to happen. They're going to get timely hits against you.
The ninth man in the order here for Cotuit. There's a runner at first, 2 outs. First pitch is in, gets right past Davis Wenzel, right down the line. And there'll be runners at the corners, but he's going to go over to second base. And he is in, and there'll be now runners both at scoring position here, and Fowler is struggling in the second.
Well, unfortunately, this isn't unfamiliar territory for Fowler. If you're a Harbor Hawks fan, in 2 1/3 against Wareham in his last start, got hit around early, had leave, and left with 4 hits, 3 earned runs on his tab. One of those runs unearned, of course, but again, when the guys behind him haven't helped him out, he's kind of let his nerves get the better of him.
Duke Ellis is up. He led off the game, but struck out in the first. That pitches in it for a strike, sitting at 75 miles per hour. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. Cotuit already up 2-0. They have 3 hits. Oh, 1 pitch. That pitch is low. Count now sits at 1-1. A good crowd here for this Saturday late afternoon contest. One pitch that is fouled off from Duke Ellis.
3 for 7 on the Young Cape League season, so he's off to a great start after coming from Texas's 36th College World Series appearance.
Quickly at 1-2, trying to get out of this with only being down 2 runs. 1-2 pitch. That ball's high. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2 men on base, 2-0 Cotuit. Runner at third slightly tried to take off to home. Fowler not even looking over at him. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off there. Pages thought he could get it on the check swing, but Ellis hits it.
Another big pitch coming up for Fowler here. 2-2 pitch, 2 runners on. Ball club already down a pair of runs. He really needs to find his way out of this inning because it's been a laborious one.
2-2 pitch. That pitch is high. Count now sits at full, 3-2.
Pitch number 36 on the afternoon for Fowler.
Definitely been a struggle for him in the second. After the first, he pitched really well. Count now sits at full, 3-2. Pitch is in. That is a ground ball to the first baseman, but it'll be foul. Brady Lindsley tried to make it like it was fair and just stepped on the bag, but first place umpire did not think so. Count still sits at 3-2. Runners both at second and third, 2 outs.
7 pitch at bat underway here between Fowler and Humphreys. Or Ellis, excuse me.
Still a 3-2 count to Ellis. 3-2 pitch. And that is ball 4. Now the bases will be loaded. The second walk of the day for Fowler. And now Will Robertson now up with the bases loaded with 2 outs. Trying to widen Cotuit's lead. But Fowler's going to try to shut it down.
Robertson 0 for 1. Fowler got something from the ground on him earlier today. Certainly would appreciate something like that again.
Oh, 2 pitch. That's fouled off there. Robertson liked that pitch, and if he got a hold of that one, that would have gone pretty far. Fowler left that right on the middle of the plate.
The whole Kettleers dugout really liked that pitch. You hear just a chorus of screams coming from the third base dugout where they're looking on.
0-1 pitch. And that is a hit by batter. And a runner will come in. It is now 3-0.
And that is your worst nightmare if you're Fowler. Walking in a run in a rival ballpark, big crowd on hand, a very loud opposing ball club in the dugout. It's not easy to pitch in an environment like this. Lowell Park is an intimidating place. There's a ton of fans here. And when you get yourself in a hole, things can go from bad to worse quickly. And now Ray Korn is out to have a word with his lefty and just try to calm him down.
Sure has. And Fowler in trouble here in the bottom of the second. Things were looking pretty good for him. He went 1-2-3 in the first. Thought he was going to settle in. And they just ran into a buzzsaw, this lineup.
No, absolutely. Cotuit is a very patient-hitting ball club. And they've hit 13 home runs on the Cape League campaign, 3 more than Hyannis. The Harbor Hawks have an edge on them in batting average. I mean, Cotuit's only hitting .231 as a team. That's in the bottom 3 of the league. But it's a long season, and these are guys that come from all over the country. They're the cleanup hitters and the best hitters on their college ball clubs. So you can't leave anything over the plate to them, and you can't make their job any easier.
Michael Coglia, first time he was up in the bottom of the first, struck out, but the 9th man to bat in this inning. First pitch is high for a ball. And they've really almost batted around the order.
1 man away from having us cross out the next inning in our scorebooks.
1-0 pitch. That is a high fly ball out to center field. That's not going to get down as Tommy Jew able to go on and get it, but not before the Cotuit Cavaliers almost bat around. It is 3-0 Cotuit. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the top of the third. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Tommy Jew to lead off here in the top of the third for the Harbor Hawks. Down 3-0 here on the road. The first pitch into Tommy Jew is in for a strike. Sitting at 76 miles per hour. It was a long bottom of the second inning. Another pitch into Jew, call for a strike. Quickly down 0-2. Tommy Jew trying to get on, trying to get a rally going for the Harbor Hawks. They had a very bad bottom of the second inning. That pitch is outside. This is his first at bat of the day, the 9th man in the order for the Harbor Hawks as they went 1-2-3 in the top of the second. after having 5 batters up. That does not catch the outside part of the plate there, to the Cotuit Cavaliers fans' dismay. Hyannis sits at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The second strikeout of the day for John Baker. And now the top of the order up now for the Harbor Hawks. Wenzel flew out the last time he was up the bat to the right fielder. Almost looked like it was going to get out, but then the wind brought it back. Pitch into Wenzel is called the ball high. And now sits at 1-0. Not a cloud in the sky here today in Cotuit. As I said at the top of the broadcast, that's in for a strike. Now count sits at 1-1. Sun was beaming right in our eyes during the pregame. Now the sun's starting to go down. 1-1 pitch. That pitch is high for a ball. 2-1 count. 1 out in the top of the third. Cotuit is up 3-0 as they had a big bottom of the second. Had 8 men appear up to bat. That pitch is an infield fly to the second baseman. He has it for the second out. Now 0 for 2 on the day. Braden Como now will be up. He grounded out in the infield in the top of the first. 2 quick outs in the top of the first, and then the man on deck, Matthew Barefoot, got a single, and so did Trevor Hauver. In for a strike. Harbor Hawks so far this season very characteristic of getting 2-out hits when they needed to. Smy's solo inning. Chris will be back in the top of the fourth. Swing and misses on a foul tip to the catcher. Quickly down 0-2. 2 outs. Top of the third. John Blake working very quickly. 0-2 pitch. That ball's high. Count sits at now at 1-2. Like I said, 2 quick outs near the top of the third. 1-2 pitch. That is a laser out to center field. It might get down, and it does. Como racing around to second. He's going to try to go 3, but he will not. In a 2-out double. He now has Como on the day, 1 for 2. Matthew Barefoot now up, trying to drive him in. Matthew Barefoot, the last time he was up, he got a 2-out base hit as well. Como now advances his hitting streak to now 9 games. First pitch in for a strike. Sitting at 81. Hover on deck. Hawks trying to cut down this 3-0 lead. Try not to let this game get away from them early. That's another pitch in for a strike. Quickly down 0-2 is Matthew Barefoot. Runner at second with 2 outs. John Blake working very quickly, unlike Jordan Fowler. 0-2 pitch. That is foul tipped, but off the catcher, so will not be strike 3. Fowler worked pretty quickly in the first, but really got slowed down by the runners as they took very sizable leads off of their bags, so he had to keep throwing over. Count now still sits at 0-2. Swing and a miss on a foul tip. The Harbor Hawks unable to get anything once again. Here in the top of the third, Cotuit will be up in the bottom of the third, trying to make their lead even wider from 3-0. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
We are back here in the bottom of the third. First pitch into Thomas Dillard is a swing and a miss. And Cotuit batted around almost in the bottom of the second. A one pitch. That's check swing, and he did not go. Count now sits at 1-1. Nobody out in the bottom of the third. Cotuit up 3-0. 1-1 pitch. That is a laser out to center field. That is gone. See you later, Thomas Dillard. The Cotuit Cavaliers are now up 4-0. Fowler leaving that pitch right up high in the zone. Dillard taking advantage of it. And after walking the lead off the bottom of the third, he gets right back up in the bottom of the second. He walked, and then in the bottom of the third, gets right back up, hits a solo shot, now 4-0. Ryan Reynolds now up for the Cotuit Cavaliers. Straightaway center field. Tommy Jew had no chance of getting that one. That first pitch in for a strike. Cavaliers players getting a little rowdy in the dugout there as Dillard came back. A one pitch. That pitch is in for a strike. Reynolds did not like that one. Count now quickly down 0-2. 0-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop Holland. He'll throw it on to first to Lindsley for the first out here in the bottom of the third. Peyton Burdick. Last time he was up, he had a base hit that got the runner at third at home. Pitches a sweeping curveball in for a strike. That's 70 miles per hour. That really buckled Burdick's knees. 0-1 pitch. That is fouled back. Might be behind the backstop. Ball boy forward. Keller's able to get it. Quickly down 0-2. Fowler trying to get a kind of a clean inning. That is a ground ball again to Holland. He's able to get it. He'll throw it on first. Lindsley had to go low on the play to be able to get it for the second out. Corey Wood now he struck out. Last time he was up in the bottom of the second. Trevor Harver will lead off for the Harbor Hawks in the top of the fourth. It is now 4-0. Hyannis has 3 hits to Cotuit's 4. Pitch in for a strike. Fowler trying to redeem himself after letting up a no-out moonshot. 0-1 pitch, just high for a ball, sits now at 1-1. Sun really starting to set now as the shade now is coming towards where we are. That is fouled back. Bends right near over the snack shack here at Lowell Park. Well, the nicer ballparks in Cape Cod. As you can see, there's a couple of hundred people here. 1-2 pitch. Just outside for a ball sitting at 84 miles per hour. And now sits at 2-2. Count sits at 2-2. Pitches in. That's another ball. Count now at 3-2 after being up in the count 0-2. Fowler throws 3 balls. No one on, so no one is going to advance. 3-2 pitch. Strike 3. Got him looking there. Corey Wood, the second time today, is struck out. And the fourth time today for Fowler. Not until the Cotuit Kettleers add another run with a solo shot from Thomas Dillard. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the top of the fourth. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Trevor Hauver now up to start the top of the fourth. Pitches in, and that will be a leadoff single. Gets right past second baseman. And the Harbor Hawks will have the leadoff man on, trying to cut down this 4-0 lead. Pedro Page is now up. And then after that will be Seth Gray. The Harbor Hawks have the same amount of hits as the Kettleers, but have no runs to show for it. Chris Lucey joining me back in the broadcasting table after having his one inning off.
Howdy, Rob. Yeah, Harbor Hawks just letting up 2 big hits, particularly that have played to those couple of runs.
0-1 pitch. Pitch is in the dirt. Count now sits at 1-1.
And I think maybe not so much 2 big hits. Of course, one of them being a massive shot from Thomas Dillard, but Harbor Hawks just let guys get on base and then hit.
1-1 pitch. That is a high infield fly. It's going to go right over to the third baseman. And Reynolds, and he has it for the first out.
I mean, going back to what I was saying earlier, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 Kettleers with RBI hits right now.
Seth Gray now up. Seth Gray, the last time he was up, grounded out. It's DH for the Harbor Hawks. First pitch is an outside for a ball. Seth Gray throwing out something that got into his personalized Franklin batting gloves, as everyone in the Cape, their team colors. Got their own personalized gloves, their team colors. Pretty neat.
Absolutely. And hey, if they feel comfortable, got to throw them on there. Goes very well with the uniform, of course.
2-0 pitch, throw back to first, and he'll be safe. Now, that was a close call. Auburn just taking a little bit too long of a lead.
Yeah, he was able to sneak back in there. Nice move from the righty on the mound, though. Baker doing his darndest.
2-0 pitch to Seth Gray. That is in for a strike, sitting at 84 miles per hour. John Baker today really has been untouchable. That is in for a strikeout. Now sits at 2-2. Seth Gray thought he was in business with a hitter's count at 2-0. Looked at 2 strikes. Auburn taking his lead over at first. Baker in the set. 2-2 pitch is in for a strike. Strike 3. Seth Gray does not like that one. Doesn't say anything to the umpire, and it goes right back to the dugout. Seth Gray on the day now 0 for 2. Brady Lindsley now up. Last time he was at bat, grounded out as well.
Yeah, Seth definitely not the type of guy who will really bark at an umpire or anyone for that matter, but just watched one go by right there, and you could tell he wanted to have that one back.
After getting a lead-off hit, the Harbor Hawks have really not been able to do anything with it. Looks back to first, but Harvard doesn't have to slide in. Pitches in. That's in for a strike to lead off the batter. Lindsley quickly down. 0-2. At 84 miles per hour. A 1 pitch. That is a laser out to left field, but it will not get down. And the left fielder for the Kettleers, Peyton Burdick, able to go on and catch that one. The Harbor Hawks unable to get anything here in the top of the 4th. The Cotuit Kettleers will be up at the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lyle Goldstein, your pregame, postgame show host, back here in between the top and bottom of the 4th with your around the league update as it's 4-0 Kettleers here at Lowell Park. Around the rest of the league, the Brewster Whitecaps up 6-0 on the first place Whitey Red Sox of the Eastern Division. That's out at Stony Brook Field in Brewster. And over in Orleans and as well as Wareham, both of those games yet to start. Commodores and Gatemen along with Firebirds and Braves set to kick off in a matter of minutes. And then over at Veterans Field, the Chatham A's and Harwich Mariners set to start at 7 p.m. And once again, 4-0 your score here at Lowell Park. That'll do it for me. You can catch me on the post-game show right after the game. Now back to today's call with Robert Marcello and Chris Lucey.
Thank you, Lyle, for the around the league update. Mike Salvatore up for the Kettleers to lead it off. In the bottom of the 4th. They're down 4. Well, they're up, sorry. They're up 4-0. Hyannis down 4-0. Fowler trying to have a clean inning here. Trying to go 1-2-3 just like he did in the first, really kind of stop his bleeding. Pitch is in for a strike, sitting at 72 miles per hour. A 1 pitch. That is fouled off. Down quickly at 0-2 to Mike Salvatore. Oh-2 pitch. That pitch is high. Almost at Salvatore's head, but he's all right. One-two pitch. That is a infield fly ball that will get right over to Braden Como at second, and he'll get it for the first out here in the bottom of the fourth.
62 pitches so far on the day for Fowler, and after a rough first 2 innings, rough middle 2 innings in this 4-inning start that he's had so far, maybe he's starting to get himself into a little bit of a groove now. Got 3 straight outs after the home run to Dillard.
Zach Humphreys up that it. First pitch is in for a ball. Fowler trying to go 1-2-3. Trying to get out of this heat. 0-1 pitch. That is a sweeping off-speed pitch in for a ball. Pitch coming in at 69 miles per hour. Shown at lower part. 2-0 pitch. That pitch is outside for a ball. Count now at 3-0 to the 9th man in the order.
86 miles per hour on that last pitch, too. One thing about Fowler is he changes speeds.
3-0 pitch. That's get me over fastball at 87. Down now at 3-1. Both teams have 4 hits, but Cotuit has 4 runs. Ruben Costly was that error there that allowed a bunch of runs to score. 3-1 pitch. That is a rope out to left field, and that is gone. Another home run. Scores now 5-0. Humphreys with a home run. Right off the top of the wall. Continue what you were saying, Chris.
Just another laser beam off the bat of a Cotuit Kettleer right there. Humphreys just pumping that one over left field way and way, way, way gone. Coming from the right side of the plate, he just pulled that thing and took it a mile.
Pitch is in for a strike to the leadoff man, Duke Ellis. Oh, 1 pitch. Thought about bunting, but turns back quickly down 0-2.
Fowler playing for pride here. 2 big strikes. That first breaking pitch was nasty.
0-2 pitch. That is a foul ball. Still down 0-2 is Duke Ellis. 0-2 pitch. Ball just outside. Pedro Pedros does have to get up, though. Almost went right past him.
You got a guy that switches speeds as fast as Fowler does. It's tough to adjust sometimes.
1-2 pitch is fouled off. Count still at 1-2. One-two pitch. That is another foul ball. It's just the edge of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks bench on the first base side, while the Kettleers dugout is on the third base side. Shade now shading over as Wenzel's really pretty much in shade. 1-2 pitch. That hits the top of Ellis's bat. I was going to hit him, but it hits him right on top of the bat.
Ellis had a big smile on his face right there. He looks at the top step of the Kettleers dugout and he's like, I can't believe that was a strike. The ball was thrown behind him.
1-2 pitch. That pitch is in the dirt. Count now sits at 2-2. 1 out on the bottom of the fourth. 5-0 Cotuit. If you're just joining us. That's another pitch outside. Count sits at full, 3-2.
Now Fowler needs a strike. He was trying to get a swing on the slider there, but just couldn't get it to go.
3-2 pitch. That is ball 4. And that's the second time today that he's walked. Well, Robertson now, the last time he was at bat, he got hit.
Third walk of the day given up by Fowler. Now Page is out to have a word with him. It's been a tough one for Fowler control-wise, as when guys haven't been swinging at him, he's been walking them, and when they've been swinging at the things he's had at the plate, they've been absolutely mashing him. He's given up multiple home runs today, given up multiple hits in one inning, but still hits in each of the last 3 innings.
First pitch in, and it will get past second baseman in Como. There'll be runners at the corners. With one out, the runner goes to second, and he is safe. Not paying attention there is the Harbor Hawks and the Kettleers. Now runners both at second and third.
Heads up base running there from the Kettleers. Robertson, knowing that the throw is most likely going to go into third, so rather than just wait for a first and third situation to steal, takes the base on the throw, and using his speed, the right fielder just cruises right in.
And that's going to be the day for Fowler, as now a relief pitcher is going to come in. We'll be right back after he warms up here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We'll bring you back to the booth, but first, it's down to the sidelines with Dani Terzer.
Well, not too long ago, we saw Coach Korn head out to the mound and speak with Jordan Fowler. They've been working together quite a bit recently, and I spoke to Coach Korn before the game started to get some of the details with that. He said it boils down to the quality of the pitches. Fowler was missing over the plate, and the hitters were getting down the left field line. Korn told me to expect a two-seam fastball tonight to keep the ball out of the air. He also said they've been working on hand speed on the breaking ball and the slider. Fowler was slowing down on the front side, so the ball was in the air too long and the hitter saw it too long. Instead of a big break, Korn wants to see a short break to get the hitter out quicker, so the hitter can't recognize what pitch he's seeing before it's too late.
Thank you, Dani. Now on the mound for the Harbor Hawks is Zach Cohn.
Yep, Zach Cohn stepping out there for the Harbor Hawks, and another guy that Hyannis is expecting a little bit of relief from here, as Jordan Fowler just didn't have the easiest go of things today out on the hill. Coach Korn mentioning it himself, just leaving things up, and the quality of pitches just not where it needed to be. And Cohn coming into this game, he's got a 4.21 ERA, 10 2/3 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts in those innings, but again, someone who surrendered 8 hits and 6 walks. So Cohn will leave things over the plate as well, and just needs to be able to avoid bats and use his off-speed stuff to keep these Kettleers off balance. They already have a massive lead.
Michael Tolia now up runners at second and third. At first pitch, he's just outside for a ball. Tolia. Runners at second and third, one out in the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 pitch that is bounced to the dirt. Bounces right up and hits the home plate umpire right on the chest, but he's all right. Now sits quickly at 2-0. Cone in danger of walking the bases loaded.
It's a sticky situation for a reliever to come into, but again, that's just the hand you're dealt. Zach Cone needs to get some strikes down now and just try and keep this thing at the distance that it is now. You can't say it's a reasonable distance. A 5-0 lead, definitely a big hole to jump out of for Hyannis. But Cone needs to limit the bleeding.
2-0 pitch that is fouled off there. Cavaliers fans got a little excited there, but tail foul. This is definitely a loud crowd today.
Absolutely. You can hear the Cavaliers fans going crazy over in that stand just above their third base dugout where the Cavaliers are sitting, and they roared at that ball because it was torched off the bat of Tolia.
2-1 pitch. In for a strike. Tolia did not like that one. Thought it would be a ball. Now sits at 2-2 even. One man out here for the Cavaliers in the bottom of the fourth, but there are runners at second and third. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. A big pitch there by Zach Cone. Gets now 2 outs. 94 miles per hour on the strikeout.
Big bounce back at bat right there for the Harbor Hawks. Cone coming in and immediately putting a bit of fear to rest. And now, however, he has a big bopper at the plate in Thomas Dillard. Really needs to bear down and attack Dillard if he wants to get Hyannis out of this inning unscathed.
Last time he was up, he hit a big fly. Also hit a big fly last time we saw him in Hyannis. First pitch just outside for a ball. Thomas Dillard on the day is 1 for 1 as he walked the first time and hit a home run. Pitch is in. It's in for a ball. Quickly down. 2-0 in the count. Cone trying to get out of this. Just it being 5-0. Trying to keep the Harbor Hawks in the game. 2-0 pitch. It's ball high, sitting at 92 miles per hour. Cone bringing the heat. Now down 3-0.
Nowhere to put Dillard, so he needs, or you can put Dillard on first, excuse me, but you don't want to load the bases here.
3-0 pitch now. That is in for a strike. That was definitely not a get-me-over fastball. There's it, almost just tailed off and didn't even come into the zone, but tails right back in. 3-1. Has to be very careful of Dillard here. 3-1 pitch. Ball for the bases will be loaded with 2 outs. Dillard for the second time today will walk.
Well, you know, looking back at that at-bat, Robert, I think Hyannis pretty much just breaks even walking Dillard because you exchange a guy that was in the College World Series Home Run Derby with 2 men on for a guy in Reynolds, who, of course, is no slouch, but still somebody who presents a much smaller threat than someone the likes of Dillard, who really was impressive for Ole Miss this year and has just been mashing baseballs all across the country this season.
First pitch just outside.
Reynolds already has made 2 outs in this game. Breakout and a ground out.
1-0 pitch. Outside, count now at 2-0 at 93 miles per hour. Bases loaded, 2 out. 2-0 pitch. Outside again. This umpire definitely not budging. The count now sits at 3-0. Been a real frustrating day for the Harbor Hawks pitching staff, as they haven't really got much. 3-0 pitch. Ball 4, run walks home. It is now 6-0 Cotuit, and they're pouring it on.
Yeah, that run coming on the bill of Fowler, who now jumps up to 5 earned runs on the day in 3 1/3 innings pitched. Still another man on base right there behind him, or several that are on base right now that still are on Fowler's bill, but 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, 5 earned runs as it stands right now. Very tough start for Fowler.
Pitches in for a strike. Some of them earned, some not. The Peyton Burdick. Last time he was up, he grounded out. 0-1 pitch. That is a laser down the line, and that will be foul. Just right before the foul pole there. Bounces just right before the wall, and if that got down, that would have probably been a bases empty triple or double.
Yeah, and that would have meant trouble for the Harbor Hawks, and more so even for Fowler. Only 1 runner left on base still remains on his bill. That's Robertson, who stands on third.
0-2 pitch. Foul ball, and this 4th inning continues here. It's been a really long inning, very similar to what the bottom of the 2nd was. 0-2 count. Bases are loaded. 2 outs. It is 6-0 Cotuit. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 at that high fastball. A great pitch there by Cone. Not before Cotuit adds a couple more runs. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the top of the 5th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucey.
Well, Holland to lead off things here in the top of the 5th. First pitch fouled off. Brought to the catcher, but the home plate umpire going out to hand Baker the ball.
Joe Peters doing the common umpire courtesy to the catcher, and Humphreys takes a foul ball off. Humphreys is protecting you as the umpire, so he goes out there and gives him a bit of time to recuperate.
On the last time he was up, he struck out. That is a little blooper out to right field, but the second baseman coming on to catch it in wood for the first out.
Yeah, Will Holland, he's got himself 3 K-League at-bats now, still in search of that first hit, but also he hasn't seen velocity like this on a consistent basis at any point really in his entire career. So the shortstop just needs a little more time to get caught up to it.
First pitch in for a ball to Ninth man in the order, Tommy Jew. Drew on the day is 0 for 1. He struck out. Swings and misses at that high fastball. Count now sits at 1-1. Baker today pitching very well for Cotuit. 1-1 pitch fouled off right above us. Gonna have a chain link fence. It's pretty high, like you'd see at a playground. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Got him looking on the outside part of the plate. And Tommy Jew strikes out again.
Yeah, Baker dropping a nifty little breaking ball over the outer half right there, and Tommy Jew completely frozen up. Great pitch.
Top of the order now as Davis Wenzel is up for the Harbor Hawks, trying to get something going here as the Harbor Hawks at bats today have been silent. Really after the first inning, really not getting anything going because after that they've only really gotten 2 hits. That is a laser out to left field, and that will be gone. Home run. Davis Wenzel with a laser out in the gap. The left fielder unable to catch it, and it is now 6-1. Wenzel with a solo shot.
Yeah, Rob, you wouldn't be able to tell that ball got out by how the crowd sounds here. It looked like it was just a foul. No reaction whatsoever from a very hostile crowd here in Cotuit, but still, what a great hit there by Davis Wenzel, and the left fielder or center fielder Ellis jumping up to the wall to try and rob it, came inches away from doing so.
That first pitch of the bat lands just on top of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks dugout, but everyone's all right. Quickly down 0-1. That's a pitch that's foul again, but lands right near the Harbor Hawks dugout, second one of the bat, 87 miles per hour. There, John Baker, his first mistake on the day, and Wenzel makes him pay.
Well, thankfully for Baker, he has quite the cushion to deal with.
0-2 pitch, that is another foul. That will land just beyond where the fans are sitting, right behind the Harbor Hawks dugout. 0-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He has it. He'll throw it on to first. And that was by Mike Salvatore. They're not until the Harbor Hawks able to score a run in the top of the 5th. 2 will be up in the bottom of 5th. It is 6-1 here at Lowell Park. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucey.
Back inside Lowell Park here on First Responders Day, hosted by the Kettleers. Zach Cohn back out for Hyannis, going for his second inning of work. He'll take on Corey Wood, Michael Salvatore, and Zach Humphreys, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Kettleers, who have a 5-run lead, 6-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Wood at the left side, the righty Cohn to the set. The pitch. Ball 1 high and outside. Off-speed offering brings the count to 1-0. Wood's 0 for 2 today with a pair of strikeouts. Those K's facing each other. One swinging, one looking. The 1-0. Ball 2 high and outside. That one a fastball. Harborhawks infield playing straight away. Sun still pouring down on most of the field here in Cotuit. They'll need it. There's no lights. 2-0. Cut on and served foul behind home. 2-1 the count. Cohn came on to pitch the final 2/3 of the previous inning. Walked 2 but struck out 2. 2 more runs came to cross in that inning, but they weren't on his bill. The 2-1. Ball 3 high and outside on another fastball. Those runs were charged to Jordan Fowler, who finishes the day with 5 earned runs, 6 runs allowed, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 3 1/3 innings pitched. The 3-1. Ball 4 in the dirt. That is the 3rd walk of the day for Cohn. And the leadoff man jumps aboard here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Hyannis still behind by 5 runs.
Cohn really just struggling to be able to get command of his pitches. Just really unfortunate.
Michael Salvatore up now for the Kettleers, 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out. Runner on first base is the leadoff walk in Wood. First pitch, check swing or a full swing, I should say. Foul tip off of his bat. Salvatore down 0-1. And control has been an issue today for the Harborhawks. Pitchers for Hyannis have walked a combined 6 batters on the day. Also given up 6 hits. 0-1. Called strike on the breaking pitch from Cohn. Flexes his right wrist a little bit. The righty ahead in the count 0-2. Harborhawks trailing 6-1. Now the 0-2. Ball 1 in the dirt. Breaking pitch misses. 1-2 the count. No lead off of first from Wood. He's held on by Brady Lindsley. Catcher / first baseman out of Oklahoma. 1-2. Called strike 3. A nice frame job from Pages behind the plate. Gets another backwards K for the Harborhawks. And there's 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th.
Great pitch there by Cohn, being able to come back after walking a guy, being able to strike out a guy. Huge boost for him.
Zach Humphreys to the plate now, 2 for 2 today with a pair of RBIs on an RBI single and a home run in the bottom of the 4th. He's done some damage to Hyannis today. Comes up to the right side of the plate. Righty Cohn squaring him up. The pitch. Cut on and sent high in the air. Looks like it's going to dunk foul, but it gets just in on the line down in left field, sliding into third base. Wood, who's off on the jump, throw down to second base. Tag applied. Humphreys slides in safely, advancing on the throw over to third base, and that is a big 1-out single for the Kettleers, who are looking to build on a 6-1 edge with 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th.
Some miscommunication there by the shortstop and the left fielder. Really unsure who was going to get the ball, and it dropped in.
I mean, that had everybody fooled. The ball was just hanging up in the air, and there has been a breeze throughout Lowell Park today, so the ball just kind of dipping every which way when it gets really high up in the air and dunking just within the foul line. Now the lineup turns over. Duke Ellis up. Swings at a first pitch fastball for a strike. He's at the left side of the plate. 0-1 the count. The righty in Cohn. Now with runners on second and third in a pickle, trying to maintain only a 5-run deficit for the Harborhawks. 0-1. Misses low and away. 1-1 the count. Now the infield's at double play depth. Nobody holding on the runner at second as he's logjam behind a runner at third. That was a leadoff walk that got Corey Wood over there. And the 1-1. Call it a strike. Breaking pitch right there from Cohn. Coming away from the lefty at the plate in Ellis. Going to the set again. 1-2 pitch coming. Here goes. Cut on and grounded off a home plate, but it stays fair. Cone applies the tag to him down the line, but misses the tag, throws the ball into the outfield, and Corey Wood comes in to score. Zach Humphreys moves over to third, staying over at first base, Duke Ellis. And that's the second error of the day for Hyannis, and just this game spiraling out of control with one down here in the bottom of the fifth. Hyannis now trails 7-1.
It honestly, Chris, did look like that he tagged him at first base. I'm not really sure what happened there. Maybe he missed him, but from my vantage point, it looked like he tagged him.
Well, this might be coming back now. The home plate umpire has called a conference down that first base line. It looked as though a tag was applied. Coach Gassman out of the Harbor Hawks dugout alongside Ron Polk. Just the two of them waiting to see the outcome of the caucus. Likely will have some kind of input on what happened. But as it stands right now, depending on what the umpires say, it's a 7-1 Cotuit edge here from Lowell Park. Game 3 of the Patriot League Series not going Hyannis' way really in any sense of the word. A pair of errors and 8 hits for the Kettleers has Cotuit out front big here on this July 7th matchup between the two ball clubs. Third of 6 matchups these two will have over the course of the season. So the caucus has since broken up. The umpire is now having a war with Mike Roberts. Nothing has changed on the scoreboard yet. The home plate umpire, Joe Peters, speaking to the runner on first base, who now takes his helmet off and steps off of the bag. Now Mike Roberts having a word with the other two. Duke Ellis is over there. It looked like he was able to jump out of the way of a tag and then force an errant throw from Zach Cone that enabled the third run, or the first run of this inning, the runner on third, Corey Woods, to come home and score the 7th run of the game. But Robert, it looks like the call might be reversed here.
It does look like that, and the Cotuit coach is not happy about it, and he's letting really the home plate umpire know about it. He's pointing his fingers, obviously we don't know exactly what he says, and probably what he's saying probably shouldn't be on air.
No, absolutely
not. He definitely is not happy about it.
And the home plate umpire clenches his fist, points down the first base line. Joe Peters calls the runner in Duke Ellis out. Corey Wood has to retreat back to third base. The 7th run of the game coming off of the scoreboard here, and there's now 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. This inning changing completely, and we'll reset things for you now. Corey Wood still on third. Now Zach Humphreys has to go back to second. And Mike Roberts still on the field, still unhappy with the call.
See, I would understand, right, if it was a very close game, but the score currently now is 6-1, and you're up 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th. I don't really see why he's making a bigger deal than it is, but that's why we're out here, and that's why he's out there coaching.
I'll make a correction on myself now, as Will Robertson is going to get an intentional pass from the pitcher in Cone. So it looks like what they're saying is Ellis was indeed tagged out. So give that a 1 unassisted down the first base line. But still, the throw down the right field line counts as an error on the pitcher. So Corey Wood comes in to score on an E1. This game is still a 7-1 edge for the Kettleers. And now Will Robertson up to the plate. Looks like Cone was actually just getting a few warm-up pitches. First pitch. Ball 1 high and away. Bit of confusion here in the bottom of the 5th inning, but things returning to their normal order now. Cone the righty squaring up. Left-handed hitting Robertson out of Creighton. 1-0. 2-0 now the count on a ball missing high and outside. Fastball.
That's a big call there going the Harbor Hawks' way. If they're able to get out of this, just being at 7-1, not allowing that runner to score, that's huge for them.
The Harbor Hawks looking for new life, down 7-1 here in Cotuit. 2-0 count to Robertson. And the 2-0s cut on and fouled off by the left-handed hitting right fielder out of Creighton. He's looking for his 2nd hit of the day. 1 for 2, also was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. 2-1 now the count. Runner on third base. And the 2-1. Hacked on and missed a 92-mile-per-hour heater. And this inning is a strike away from being over. Two down, bottom of the fifth. Hyannis down 7-1, a runner on third base, but Zach Cohn looking to stop the damage here. He comes to the set and the pitch. Cut on and served high down the left field line. This one looks like it might dunk in, and it does, just out of the range of Will Holland. Coming in to score is the runner in Humphreys. It is now 8-1 Cotuit off of the RBI two-strike single with two down from Will Robertson, his second hit of the day.
The second time this inning that's really happened where it's just kind of looped right in between the third baseman and the left fielder.
Will Holland, the new shortstop in his first start for the Harbor Hawks, really cruising over to try and get that ball, just absolutely in a full sprint, unable to get down there. And Davis Wenzel having to backpedal almost the entire way, not able to get in. And just a very tough situation right there for the Harbor Hawks, who now jump down 7 runs against the Kettleers with Michael Tolia coming to the plate. Switch hitter standing at the left side. The righty Cone now has to deal with only a runner on first base, but now 2 runs have crossed on his bill. First pitch. Called a strike over the outer half of the plate. 0-1 the count. And you have to imagine, Rob, with all the craziness that's gone on this inning, it definitely hasn't helped Cone stay calm up there.
Definitely hasn't, and especially this hostile crowd.
The 0-1. Chopped on and served high and foul. 0-2 now the count. That ball going over the left field stands where a very raucous Cotuit crowd looks on. Both bleachers are packed. Plenty of Cotuit fans coming out for Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. Hyannis down 8-1, but a 2-strike count with 2 down in the bottom of the fifth here on Tolia. The righty Cone to the set, the pitch. Cut on, grounded over to short. Holland forehands it, throws on to Braden Como to get the easy out at second, and that is the bottom of the fifth inning. Let's recap here on a pair of hits and an error, also a walk. The Kettleers are able to plate 2 more runs and jump ahead 8-1 here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We now come to you with the top of the 6th inning. Matt Barefoot, Trevor Hauber, and Pedro Pages, the 3, 4, 5 heart of the order for the Harbor Hawks, trying to cut into a 7-run deficit when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network alongside Robert Marcello, I'm Chris Lucey. Matt Barefoot, Trevor Hauber, and Pedro Pages due up for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks here in the away half of the 6th inning. Hyannis down 8-1 in Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series to the Cotuit Kettleers. Baker out now for his 6th inning of work. First pitch, cut on and lined out into left field. That one dunks in front of Burdick for a base hit. Barefoot cruises around first base, and there's a man aboard to start things off here in the 6th. Barefoot with his 2nd hit of the day.
Barefoot now, as you said, Chris, 2 for 3 on the day. Really good pitch there. Hits it out to left field.
And John Baker off to an inauspicious start in the 6th inning, but he has been lights out for the Kettleers. Sure, he's allowed 6 hits, but only one has come home to score, and he has his team sitting pretty. The only one actually coming home to score, a home run off the bat of Davis Wenzel in the previous frame. Now Trevor Hauber at the left side of the plate. The pitch. High and outside, ball 1 on a little tailing fastball from Baker. 3-pitch guy, fastball curve slider. Comes to the mid to upper 80s with it. Runner on first base No one down here on the 6th. And the next pitch is a strike over the outer half of the plate. 1-1 the count. Trevor Hauver with a pair of hits today as well. 1-1. Hacked on and missed, strike 2. So Hauver's a converted infielder, playing the outfield for the Sun Devils down at Arizona State where he plays his college ball, and also for the Harbor Hawks. But didn't say the transition was all that taxing on him as the snap throw goes back over to first base. Sliding in under the tag, Matt Barefoot. In fact, he said the outfield coach at Arizona State was able to work with him so well that really reading the ball off of a different position in the field wasn't all that hard. The 1-2. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. First out of the 6th inning goes by way of the K. Trevor Hauver hit down to 2 for 3 on the day. Breaks up the pair of hits with a strikeout, and now Pedro Pages comes up to the plate. He's in search of his first hit. 0 for 2 on the day. Runner on first base, 1 away. Hyannis trailing by 7 runs here at Lowell Park. Pedro at the right side of the plate. The righty Baker to the set. The Ball State product deals. First hit strike. Fastball at 86 miles per hour. And Rob, you'd expect a pitcher maybe to start getting a little slower with his speed later in games, but Baker's just going. The 0-1 missing now low and away. 1-1 the count.
Definitely explains the reason why he's a starter. He's pitching very well today, using his pitches effectively and really not making any mistakes. Besides, the Davis one's a home run.
77 pitches in. He's still going strong. Number 78. Hacked on and fouled off behind home. 1-2 now the count on Pages. Pedro coming off of a multi-hit game yesterday that broke up a 4-game hitless streak for him. But now just trying to get his way off of the struggle bus again. He's down with an 0-2 line right now in a 2-strike count. He has to defend the plate. Runner on first base. The pitch. High and tight, ball 2. Fastball coming up at Pedro's chest. He taps his cleat with the bat, gets back in the box. Now the 2-2. Hacked on, another one served foul. Pages staying alive. Now a 5-pitch at bat. Florida Atlantic product. Born in Maracay, Venezuela. Fighting to stay alive. Hyannis down 8-1 with 1 down here in the 6th. The pitch. Cut on and tapped down the first base line. Tolia throws on a second to get the first out. Going on to first for the second. The covering pitcher is unable to get there in time, and Pedro Pages beats it out for fielder's choice, and there is 2 away here in the top of the 6th inning.
Pages there, a tough bit there, just unable to really get anything on the pitch. Just kind of chopped it over to the first base. Almost gets doubled off, but his speed helps him.
Heady play right there by Tolia as well, I must say. Playing the ball up the line and knowing that he could snare the leadoff out. And now Seth Gray at the plate. Hits a ball on the ground on the first pitch. He sees over to second. Wood gloves it, throws over to first, and that is the top of the 6th inning. So 1 hit is killed off. 1 man left on base. No out, no errors, no walks, no runs scored. Hyannis still trailing 8-1 as now we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, where the Cotuit Kettleers will send up the 4, 5, 6 heart of their order. Thomas Dillard, Ryan Reynolds, and Peyton Burdick due up for Cotuit when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucey.
Thank you, Dani. He's Rob Marcello. I'm Chris Lucey. Thomas Dillard, Ryan Reynolds, and Peyton Burdick do up the 4-5-6 heart of the order coming to the plate for the Kettleers, who lead 8-1 in Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. A happy First Responders Day to everybody here in Cotuit. Kettleers putting on a lovely ceremony for first responders. First pitch strike from Cone, out for his third inning of work. Gave up a pair of runs in the previous frame. Hyannis trailing by 7 runs. As the righty comes to the set, and the pitch to Dillard is cut on and grounded just foul down the first base line. Thomas Dillard 1 for 1 today with a pair of walks and a home run.
I'm really just trying to settle down now in his third inning of work, trying to go 1, 2, 3.
It would do the Harbor Hawks a big favor as the sun is starting to come down here at Lowell Park, and when you don't have lights, you know what that means. Cone now to the set again. The 0-2. Bouncer, 1-2 the count. With no lights over a ballpark, leaves you at risk for ties, or at worst, a game called by darkness, as Hyannis had a game called a tie due to darkness at YD in their previous outing, as now Cone steps off, trying to make sure he has himself in a good place with his battery mate Pedro Pages. Now Cone comes to the set again, everyone where they should be. The 1-2. Hacked on and sent foul behind home. Thomas Dillard staying alive. The Ole Miss product fresh off a trip to Omaha. No, the Rebels didn't make it to the World Series this year, but Thomas Dillard was selected to be in the home run derby. Made it into the finals, or into the second round, but lost out to Nick Reddy, the 1-2. Ball 2, low and away.
He had to leave for a couple days during the season to be able to do that as it was later on, because he showed up here to start the season and had to go there.
Yeah, but doesn't regret going.
Definitely not. You should definitely not. He definitely was impressive.
Ball 3 goes high and outside on the fastball. Loaded count now to the switch hitting catcher standing at the left side of the plate out of Ole Miss. Said his favorite part of the whole experience, not just Omaha and the feeling of being there, but the fact he hit with a non-BB core bat, the 3-2. Hacked on and grounded over to second base. That one goes to Braden Como, who backhands it, throws on to first, and Brady Lindsley retires Thomas Dillard for out number 1 here in the 6th.
His teammate Houston Roth, I talked to him a couple days ago about Thomas Dillard, and how the last time we faced Cotuit, he hit a home run. He said he is a very powerful hitter. He definitely wouldn't want to face him.
Oh, no, absolutely not. And the funny thing is, Dillard's so powerful, he felt as though the ball was traveling 500 feet off the non-BB core, non-college rules bat. As now Ryan Reynolds steps up to the left side of the plate and takes strike 1. Breaking pitch from Cone. 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hyannis trailing by 7 runs. It's an 8-1 edge for the Kettleers. Reynolds looking for his first hit of the day. Down in an 0-1 count. 0 for 2 with a walk. Pitch. Hacked on and missed for strike 2. Infielders playing straight away. Everybody except Lindsley, the first baseman, playing down the line, watching for the pull from Reynolds, who stands at the left-hand side of the plate. The 0-2. Called strike 3. Brady Lindsley can go back to his normal place down at first now. Reynolds, with a backwards K, goes down for the second out of the 6th inning, and Peyton Burdick comes up to the plate. The home team out front 8-1.
Right pitch there by Zach Cone. Able to command his pitches much better this inning.
He's gotten 2 quick outs and now looking for the third one against Peyton Burdick, who's 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the 2nd inning. Pitch. Hacked on and a high chopper hit over shortstop. Will Holland backhands it at chest level, throws across the diamond, and is unable to get the speeding Burdick as the first base umpire Joe Caraco calls him safe, and that's an infield hit for the left fielder out of Wright State.
Close one there. Great play by Holland. Will be able to get it over. I thought he was out.
Now Corey Wood up for another round of ups. He's looking for his first hit today. 0 for 2 with a walk. Came around to score a run on an E1. That E1 coming from Zach Cone in what was a bizarre bottom of the 5th inning. Wood at the left side of the plate. The righty cone to the set. Runner on first, taking a lead off. Ball one is thrown, and Pedro Pages shoots out from behind home plate. Looks back at that runner. 1-0 the count. And I mentioned a bizarre bottom of the fifth inning because with runners on second and third, a ball was hit up the first base line. And after Cone had tagged the runner, he wasn't called out yet. So he threw the ball out into right field, and a run came to score the 1-0. Ball two, high and outside. 2-0 count on the fastball from Cone. Definitely an unsettling situation for the Central Michigan Chippewa, who stands at the mound now, comes to the set, and deals the 2-0. Fastball for a strike. Count now 2-1.
You can really tell Cone's very frustrated on the mound.
Why do you say that?
Definitely just taking high, deep breaths there. He just really has to relax after getting 2 quick outs. Really wanted to get a 1-2-3 inning.
And the 2-1 is low and inside for ball 3. Cone just trying to work through what's been a tough day for Hyannis. The Harbor Hawks trail by 7 runs, 8-1 with 2 down in the 6th. The pitch, ball 4. Corey Wood watched the fastball sail high and outside of the zone, and now there's runners on first and second. Still 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Michael Salvatore coming to the plate. He has an RBI hit on the day, 1 for 3.
Cone definitely just has to settle down, be able to get the final out of the inning, be able to go back to the dugout. Feeling good about his outing.
Salvatore steps up to the right side of the plate, today's shortstop. Again, runners on first and second, both of them reaching with 2 outs. Burdick with a single and Corey Wood with a walk. Pitch. Hacked on, serve foul behind home. 0-1 the count now on Salvatore. Florida State product, plays his college ball down in Tallahassee for the legendary Mike Martin. Will be coming back for his final season coaching the Seminoles next year, the all-time leader in wins throughout college baseball. The 0-1. Hacked on and fisted high in the air towards the right side of the infield. Zach Cone comes off the mound, calls everybody off, and makes the play on his own for out number 3. So on a walk and a hit, both with 2 outs, the Cotuit Kettleers strand 2 runners on base, and Hyannis finally gets a clean sheet, their first clean sheet in an inning since the bottom of the 1st. And now we go to the top of the 7th. Brady Lindsley, Will Holland, and Tommy Jude due up when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Don't go anywhere. The Harbor Hawks are trying to chip away at an 8-1 deficit.
Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Chris Lucey.
After a solid outing for John Baker, the Cotuit Kettleers dip into their bullpen. The new reliever throws a first pitch that is hacked on and served foul by Brady Lindsley. 0-1 now the count on today's catcher out of Oklahoma. Deacon Metters taking the mound for the Kettleers after 6 strong from Baker. He's a righty. Lindsley a lefty. Swings at the next pitch and serves it foul. 0-2 now the count on the pitch. Served foul down the left field line. Metters in 16 innings on the season, a 1.68 ERA. Righty out of the University of Alabama has struck out 11 in those 16 innings of work, 7 appearances, as the 0-2 is hacked on and hacked right into the glove of the catcher for strike 3. Brady Lindsley going down swinging. Humphreys gripping the ball, and there's one away in the top of the 7th. Will Holland at the plate now, 0 for 2. 0 for 3 on his Cape League season, still searching for his first hit. An SEC matchup here. Righty deals to the righty at the plate. Ball 1 low and away. Amongst the biggest rivalries in college sports going on right now, in the righty out of the University of Alabama on the mound, and the righty at the plate out of Auburn, the 1-0. Hacked on and clipped foul just behind home. 1-1 the count. You know it's a big rivalry when you get an SEC storied about Rolled Tide versus War Eagle. That's what these two programs have. No love lost between either of them. Football game between the two programs called the Iron Bowl, the 1-1. Called a strike, 1-2 now the count on Holland. Will, fresh off of a trial run with Team USA, opting to come back to the Cape and experience some of the stiffest competition in college summer baseball. The 1-2. Comes in and hits Holland on the hand. He winces in pain as he takes his first trip to the base paths out here on the Cape, taking off his shin guard. And now with one away, there's a runner on first here in the 7th inning. Hyannis trailing 8-1 here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network, as we have a pinch hitter coming into the game for Tommy Jew. Jew's day is done after an 0 for 2 day at the plate with a pair of strikeouts. Enter Adam Elliott, the pitcher and center fielder out of Louisville. He's at the left side of the plate. The righty Metters to the set and the pitch. High and outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count on Adam Elliott. Metters to the set again. 1-0. Hacked on and missed a 89-mile-per-hour fastball. Count is 1-1. Will Holland stands on first base. He was hit by a pitch. The inning started off with a strikeout to Brady Lindsley. Metters to the set again, the 1-1. Bouncer, ball 2. Humphreys comes out from behind the mound, behind home plate to pick the ball up as it dribbles down the first base line. Holland stays put. Sun's starting to come down here at Lowell Park, and that's inauspicious for Hyannis, down 8-1, because there are no lights out here in Cotuit. 2-1 to ball 3, low and away. Metters missing over that outer half of the plate. Adam Elliott with the hold on without a doubt. 3-1. Hacked on and missed. Holland goes, slides into second base underneath the tag off the throw from Humphreys. And that's a stolen base for the shortstop out of Auburn. 3-2 now the count on Elliott. Looks like the hit and run was on. Metters to the set. Looks back Holland and the payoff pitch. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. Adam Elliott can't reverse the Harborhawks' fortunes in that 9 spot. Last spot of the order, 3 strikeouts on the day. Hyannis still trailing by 7 runs with 2 down in the top of the 7th inning. Davis Wenzel up to the right side of the plate. 1 for 3 on the day with a home run in the bottom of the top of the 5th. Comes up with a runner in scoring position and the pitch. Low and away. 1-0 the count. Metters missing with a breaking ball over the outer half. The righty squaring up the righty in Wenzel out of Baylor. Holland with a 2-step lead off the second. 1-0. hacked on and roped out into the right center field gap. Ellis and Robertson converging on the ball, and it bounces over the wall out in right center field for a ground rule double. That sends Will Holland in to score, and that cuts the Cotuit lead to 6. It is 8-2 Cotuit here at Lowell Park on the 2-out double from Davis Wenzel here in the bottom of the 7th. That's the second RBI of the game for Davis Wenzel. He's driven in both of the Harbor Hawks runs. And the Hyannis Ball Club is in business now. Braden Como up to the plate. The Rice second baseman, 1 for 3 on the day with a double. Davis Wenzel takes a 2-step lead off of second. Metters to the set. The pitch. Breaking ball for a strike. 0-1 the count on Como. Infield playing a little bit up the middle. Trying to hold on Wenzel. 1. Ball 1, another breaking pitch. Doesn't get enough bite and just kind of stays up and in. Como's at the right side of the plate. Facing the righty in Metters out of Alabama. 1-1. Hacked on and served foul. 0-1. 1-2 now on Como. And that's a pinch hitter at the plate, actually, in Taylor Garris, who swings and misses at strike 3. And the threat is over here in the top of the 7th inning. Bottom of the 7th we go here. Hyannis down 8-2. Zach Humphreys, Duke Ellis, and Will Robertson 2 up. When we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, don't go anywhere.
Last chance for the Harbor Hawks to rally in the bottom of the 9th on the Hyannis.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, I'm Chris Lucey. A new pitcher out on the mound for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks right now, making his Cape League debut. It's Riley Self, 6'5", 238-pound right-hander out of Mississippi State. Going into his junior year there. 5-2 record on the season for the Bulldogs, a 3.72 ERA, 60 strikeouts to only 20 walks. His favorite player is Marcus Stroman, and if you know anything about the right-hander for the Toronto Blue Jays, he's a small guy, and he likes to go right after hitters. Riley Self, a big opposite right there, kind of mirroring him with a 6'5", 238-pound frame, as I mentioned, but still has a lot of respect for the fireballer for the Toronto Blue Jays. He'll start his Cape League against Zach Humphreys, and then the top of the order for the Kettleers as he throws ball 1 to get his summer started. 1-0 now the count on Humphreys. 3 for 3 with a pair of singles and RBIs. The 1-0 misses low and away, ball 2. One of those RBIs coming on an RBI single in the second, and then a solo home run in the fourth. Pitch. 2-0 is a strike right over the inner half of the plate. 2-1 now the count. Brady Self working pretty quickly. Already to the set and the 2-1. Ball 3, ball getting away from the man behind home plate. Pedro Page is doing the catching for the Harbor Hawks today. Riley's the third pitcher in for the Harbor Hawks today. He comes in relief of Zach Cohn. The 3-1. Hacked on and grounded weakly over to short. Davis Wenzel comes over from third, throws across the diamond on the run, and gets the speedster in Humphrey for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Nifty play from Wenzel, charging right in front of Will Holland, who gives him a little daps as they retreat to their respective positions. Davis Wenzel, a seasoned member of this Harbor Hawks ball club at this point. So Will Holland gives him a little bit of respect and lets him take the ball, as now Duke Ellis is up to the left side of the plate against the righty. First pitch. Called a strike. Fastball 0-1. And I mentioned Zach Cohn started this, or didn't start this inning, but came in right before Self, the 0-1. Hacked on and flipped foul behind home. 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned, 4 strikeouts for Zach Cohn on the day. Cotuit leads 8-2 though. The 0-2. Misses for ball 1, low and away. Nice breaking ball there from Self. Righty from Mississippi State to the set again. 1-2. Bouncer inside, ball 2. Lindsley playing for the pull again, just down the first base line. Hugging the line. Davis Wenzel off the line. Middle infielders on the outfield grass. 2-2. Hacked on and pulled right over to Brady Lindsley, who gloves the ball down at first, steps on the bag himself, and there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. 3 unassisted. Brings Will Robertson up to the plate, who has crushed Harbor Hawks pitching today with a pair of hits and an RBI. Also hit by a pitch, so chalk him up to 2 for 3 on the day. He's given the Kettleers the boost they need to jump out to a 6-run lead here in Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. The pitch. Called a strike over the inner half. 0-1 the count. Self, the righty, dealing to Robertson, who's at the left side of the plate. The 1-0, or the 0-1, is cut on and cranked out to right center field. Robertson coming over and making the grab. Actually, that's Trevor Hopper coming and making the grab for out number 3. So the 7th inning goes by in just the blink of an eye. No hits, no one left on base for the Kettleers. The score stays frozen at 8-2. A nice quick debut for Riley Self here on the Cape League Summer. And now we head to the top of the 8th inning. We'll be right back after a quick break here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
We're back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Thank you so much for joining us. Alongside Robert Marcello, I am Chris Lucey. Matt Barefoot was set to lead off this inning, but he's been replaced. Pinch hitting for him, Matt, is Eric Rivera out of Florida Atlantic University. He steps up to the right side of the plate. Down 8-2. Deacon Metters out for another inning of work. The righty deals. First pitch, strike. 0-1 now the count on Rivera. Metters working quickly. The 0-1. Missing, ball one. That one low and inside. Trevor Hauver still on deck. So you have to imagine that Rivera is taking Barefoot's spot out and left. As the 1-1 is cut on and cranked out to left field, but Burdick settles underneath it and the left fielder gloves it for out number 1. Robert Marcello again joining me back in the booth. Trevor Hauver up to the plate now. 2 for 3 on the day with a pair of singles and a strikeout. Hyannis trailing 8-2 right now as Hauver steps up to the left side of the plate. Looking on the righty Metters, who kicks and fires. Ball 1, a breaking pitch in the dirt. Infield playing straight away. Outfield shaded over towards the gap in right center. The 1-0. Hacked on and missed. 1-1 now the count. 86 miles per hour there from Metters. Fastball just beating Hauver. Now the 1-1. Ball 2, low and away. Sun is starting to dip here over the field at Lowell Park. Top of the 8th inning. Couldn't go fast enough. The 2-1. Hacked on and sliced up the hole on the left side. Through for a base hit. Trevor Hauver rounds first base. Stops up there with a 1-out single here in the 8th inning.
Good piece there by Hauver being able to hit it towards the opposite field right near the shortstop.
Yep, and I mentioned that this inning, just one, the Harbor Hawks want to scrape a couple runs together, but also go quickly because the light is fading over a field with no lights. As now Pedro Pages comes up looking for his first hit. He's at the right side. Runner on first. First pitch. Hacked on and shot just foul down the third base line. Delayed call from Joe Peters, the home plate umpire, as the third baseman Reynolds came over to try and field the baseball. Scoots away from him, though, now Chad Gassman. Retreats out of the third base bag, coaching box to maybe try and go get the ball, but is sent away by a Cotuit reliever. Chad's up the third baseline, up the first baseline, coaching for Hyannis, Bobby Melly. 3-year veteran of the ball club as a player. Draft pick of the Tampa Bay Rays. 0-1 the count to Pages. Runner on first. The pitch. Breaking ball for a ball. 1-1 the count. Hauver's on first with that 1-out single. Eric Rivera flew out to start things off. 1-1. Strike 2, another breaking ball. The SEC righty in Metters ahead in the count 1-2. Pedro Pages again having to fight off a 2-strike count. Pitch. Ball 2, another breaking pitch. Looking like it landed around the same place, but not catching the eye of the home plate umpire as another pinch hitter waits on deck in Kyle Wilkie. Seth Gray ending his day, the 2-2. Hacked on another high chopping ground ball called foul as Reynolds comes out into foul territory again to field the baseball, but it looks like it skipped out of bounds just as it crossed the third base bag. Trevor Hauver retreats over to first. Anything on the ground, not really serving the Harbor Hawks all that well as they could double off Hauver. And that wouldn't help Hyannis cutting to this 6-run deficit, the 2-2. All 3 low and away.
Good eye there by Pages not being able to attempt to swing at that.
No, there was some cheddar right there from Metters. Breaking pitch just dying out in the dirt. Full count now on Pages. Metters to the set. The pitch. Cut on and roped out towards the left center field gap. This one is tracking the outfielders back to the wall, and it bounces just off the base of the wall. Fielded by Ellis. Cruising over to third base is Hauber, and Pedro Pages stops up at second with a one-out double, moving 2 runners into scoring position here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Just the hit Pages was looking for there, Robert. After a tough day at the plate early on, 0 for 3 going into that at-bat with a fielder's choice, he puts Hyannis within striking distance to possibly cut into a 6-run deficit.
Definitely does, and left that hanging pitch out there was the reliever for the Kettleers, and Pages took advantage of it.
Deacon Metters sensing trouble for really the first time today. Now the pinch hitter Kyle Wilkie up to the plate. Wilkie batting .303 in 33 at-bats for Hyannis, 10 hits on the season. He's also driven in 4 runs. Pitch. Called a strike from the righty on the mound. The Alabama right-hander scoring up a right-handed hitting Wilkie. Plays his college ball at Clemson. Runners on second and third. Only 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning. The pitch. Cut on and chopped just high over the pitcher's mound, and it gets away from Metters. Trevor Hauber comes in to score, but Pedro Pages is caught in a rundown between second and third and tagged out as Kyle Wilkie runs over to first base on the fielder's choice. Scoring again, Trevor Hauber. It is now 8-3 Cotuit. Hyannis getting the job done here in the bottom of the 8th inning, just starting to inch their way back into this ball game if they can before the lights kind of are turned out over Lowell Park. Now a conference on the mound. Mike Roberts out to have a word with his righty Metters. And a new arm is coming into this ball game. Mike Roberts takes the ball away from Metters. Will have his final line and a word on the new pitcher who will face Brady Lindsley. 8-3 Cotuit over Hyannis in Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. But stick around here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. This thing is getting interesting.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Robert Marcello alongside me, Chris Lucey here. 2 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. 8-3 the score. Cotuit on top of Hyannis here in Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. But a new pitcher in for the Kettleers coming in relief of Deacon Metters. It's Steven Schock out of UMBC. 7 games pitched on the season, a 1.42 ERA in 6 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, only 2 walks. The righty squaring up Brady Lindsley, the runner on first. 2 down. The pitch. Cut on and grounded right over to second base. Wood gloves it forehand side. throws on to first, and Brady Lindsley is retired, and so is the side here in the top of the 8th inning. To the bottom of the frame we go. Mike Tolia, Thomas Dillard, and Ryan Reynolds do up the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in this Kettleers order when we return here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back at Lowell Park here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network alongside Robert Marcello. I'm Chris Lucey. A couple of changes to report here. Playing over at second base now, Taylor Garris. Over in left field, you have Eric Rivera. And a new pitcher on the mound in Kyle Kemp. Back here for the Harbor Hawks, wearing different colors. He started the season with the Kettleers, but since has jumped to the other side of the Barnstable Patriot Cup rivalry. He'll face Michael Tolia, Thomas Dillard, and Ryan Reynolds. Again, the 3, 4, 5 heart of this order for the Kettleers, who have really given Hyannis a tough go of it today. Cotuit leading 8-3 over the Harbor Hawks as things go right now. Kyle Kemp in 3 1/3 innings pitched on the season, a 5.41 ERA and a pair of strikeouts. Again, that's between his time with the Harbor Hawks and with the Kettleers, whom he faces off against today. Plays his college ball at Lipscomb University. Tolia back to the plate now. 0-4 on the day, still looking for his first knock, but if he gets a hold of one, he can really send him out of the yard. Tolia boasting some prodigious power, 2 homers. And the first pitch he sees is cranked high in the air and deep towards center field. This one chasing the center fielder back to the wall, and it is caught on the track by Adam Elliott for the first out of the inning. He faked everybody out there, got on the wall, left, snagged the ball, and then put his head down immediately as if to signify that the ball was gone. Left Tolia running down towards second base before he finally just showed everybody that he had the ball, and the joke is complete. 1 away here in the 8th inning.
A great play there by Tommy Drew out there in center field, being able to get under the ball and being able to catch it.
Adam Elliott making that catch, and there's 1 away here in the 8th. Thomas Dillard up to the plate. Takes ball 1 in the dirt. The designated hitter out of Ole Miss. 1 for 2 on the day with a home run and a pair of walks. He's at the left side, the switch hitter, 1-0. Called a strike. Delayed call right there from Joe Peters, the home plate umpire. 1-1 the count. Hyannis down by 5 runs here in Game 3 of the Patriot Cup Series, the 1-1. Cut on and blipped foul down the first base line. First base coach Brady North watches that one roll by. Across from him in the third base coaching box is Mike Roberts, the 3-time Cape Cod League champ with these Kettleers. The 1-2. Ball 2. Fastball missing. Coming in at 95 miles per hour, according to the speedometer out in right center field. Kemp to the set. The righty winds and deals. Pitch is slapped foul out of play down the left field line. Count remains 2-2.
I'd like to apologize from Adam Elliott. I had no idea he was out there. Definitely have to give him some run. What a great play.
Absolutely. Hyannis, though, down 8-3 here from Lowell Park. Cal Kemp to the set, the 2-2. Hacked on and smacked out towards left field. Eric Rivera making his way over to the gap, and the left fielder closes his glove on the ball for out number two, excuse me. Ryan Reynolds, the 5-hitter, coming up now. 0 for 2 today with a walk and a pair of strikeouts. Comes up with his Kettleers out front by 5 runs. Cal Kemp doing mop-up duty for the Harbor Hawks, getting 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 8th, excuse me, as the pitch is cut on and flipped foul behind home. 94 miles per hour on the gun for Cal Kemp. Righty out of Lipscomb, taking care of business for the Harbor Hawks. 1. High and outside fastball, 1-1. Infield and outfield playing straight away for these two for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. The 1-1. Cut on and dribbled foul down the first base line. Brady Lindsley, the first baseman, gloves the ball forehand, steps on first base, and the 3-U put out has the bottom of the 8th inning go 1, 2, 3 here from Lowell Park. Last licks for the Harbor Hawks. Will Holland, Tommy Jew, and Davis Wenzel, the bottom and top of the order, 2 up. When we return, trying to chip away at an 8-3 deficit here in the top of the 9th inning on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back for the top of the 9th inning here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Alongside Robert Marcello, I'm Chris Lucey. Will Holland 2 up to start things off for Hyannis. He'll be followed up by Adam Elliott and Davis Wenzel. Bottom and top of the order trying to chip away at an 8-3 deficit here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Holland at the right-hand side of the plate. And the first pitch. Called a strike. Sidewinder Steven Schock out for his 2nd inning of work. 0-1 the count. Holland still looking for his first hit of the Cave League season. Got on base in his previous plate appearance, the 0-1. Cut on and hit the other way out into right field. This one is tracking Robertson down towards the line, and the ball is just caught down that foul line, getting out of view over here, but the crowd in Cotuit giving it away, and there's 1 away. Will Holland still looking for that elusive first hit of the summer. 1 down here in the top of the 9th inning, and here comes Adam Elliott.
That looked good for Holland, be able to get his first knock of the season here down in the Cape. Just to a little bit.
Adam Elliott now, 1 for 10 on the season. Stands at the left side of the plate. And takes ball 1 low and away. 1-0 the count now on the 2-way product out of Louisville. Pitches for the Harbor Hawks where he's been outstanding and plays the field as well. 1-0. Ball 2 high and outside. Sidewinder for UMBC trying to shut the door on an 8-3 win for his Kettleers here in Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series and take a 2-1 edge over Hyannis. The 2-0. Cut on and slapped foul down the left field line. That one bouncing off of a pole and back into the field of play, but a dead ball. Catcher Humphreys jokingly trying to take a stab at it out of midair. Not sure if Joe Peters would have let him record an out on the ball, but still an effort. The 2-1. Hacked on and missed. Strike 2, 84-mile-per-hour fastball from the sidewinder. 2-2 the count. Shock to the set again. Infield, outfield, straight away. 2-2. Hacked on and missed. Strike 3, 88 miles per hour from the sidewinder. And Adam Elliott goes down by way of the K, his second strikeout of the game. And we're up to the top of the order and the last hope for Hyannis in what has been a long day for HarborHawks fans. 8-3 the lead for the Kettleers. Davis Wenzel coming up to the plate. He's got hits in each of his last 2 plate appearances, 2 for 4 on the day, 2 RBIs. Pitch. Breaking ball for a strike. Shock dropping in a curveball. 0-1 the count on Davis. The Baylor product with a home run and a double, knocking in runs with each hit. 0-1. Ball 1, high and outside. Count a ball and a strike. No light left over Lowell Park here. No lights in this field. 1-1. Hacked on and crushed high into the night sky here at Lowell Park, but right to the center fielder, Ellis. And the Texas Longhorn closes his glove on the final out of an 8-3 win for the Cotuit Kettleers as the Barnstable Ball Club pours out onto the field from their dugout. Everybody giving fist bumps and high fives. And Hyannis, with 9 hits and 2 errors, unable to scrape across more than 3 runs as 9 hits and no errors for the Kettleers keeps Cotuit out front for an 8-3 win and a crucial one for the Kettleers' playoff hopes as Hyannis stays probably at second place for now, frozen up at 26 points. They now drop to 12-8 on the campaign, but Cotuit advances to 500, 10-10 on the campaign, now 22 points. And that's crucial as they're battling for that 4th playoff spot in the Western Division with the Falmouth Commodores, Robert.
Definitely are a huge win for them today. They knew they had to get this one, especially at home in front of a great crowd. HarborHawks just come a little up short today.
8-3 the final score. Lyle Goldstein will have all the analysis on the post-game show. I'll hop on with him for a second there. But the HarborHawks having a tough afternoon here in Cotuit. 8-3 the final, dropping down to 12-8-2 on the campaign so far. We'll be right back after a quick break here on the Hyannis HarborHawks Digital Network. Don't go anywhere. You're listening on the Hyannis HarborHawks Digital Network.
Welcome into the Hyannis Harbor Hawks post-game show. I'm your host, Lyle Goldstein, as Hyannis drops this game at Lowell Park to the Cotuit Cavaliers by a final score of 8-3. Joined alongside now is second half play-by-play man Chris Lucey. And Chris, let's just start off. 8-3 game. Each team had 9 hits, but to be totally honest, it almost felt like a little bit of a one-sided game swinging toward the favor of Cotuit, as so many free passes were allowed by this Harbor Hawks pitching staff. In fact, on the night, they allowed a total of 7 walks along with 8 free passes. Just a tough night commanding the zone for the pitchers.
7 walks and 9 hits is just going to translate to a disaster any way you look at it. And Hyannis dropping this one by 5 runs here is just a very tough loss for the Harbor Hawks, because if you look at how the Barnstable Patriot Cup series is scored, not only is it go off of games, but if the series ends tied, which is totally possible, it's a 6-game series, they go down to run differential to determine things. And after run differential, strikeouts, and with a lopsided loss like this, doesn't play well into that, because while Hyannis was able to win 4-1 in the first game, they lost 10-4 in the second game. So they're well behind in run differential right now. And if they don't snap back and are able to reel off multiple wins in the end of this Patriot Cup series, it'll go by way of the Cavaliers for the 6th time in 7 seasons.
Yeah, the run differential for the Harbor Hawks coming into today was the lowest in the Western Division, and it took a little bit more of a hit after today's 5-run loss. But the turnover of the Cotuit side in the pitching, their starter, John Baker, he was the defined ace coming into today, and he showed every reason why after those 6 innings pitched. 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, outside of the lone Davis Wenzel home run. That was his one blip on the night, but he really kept these Harbor Hawk hitters off balance.
No, and he did it just by pounding the strike zone with some great stuff. I mean, the fastball wasn't anything that impressed you necessarily. I think it was probably the best it's been all year, the fastball. I was told going into this game he sits around mid to upper 80s, but he was touching the low 90s very often today. So the velo was up today. His curveball and slider, he can throw both of those pitches for strikes, which is exceptional for a player coming out of the MAC conference. He was an ace for Bowling Green this year. He was able to strike out a team-leading 118 batters this past season, and he actually plays at Ball State, but still a very impressive right-hander who set the table beautifully for the Cavaliers today.
Well, Chris, I thank you for joining me. Thanks for your input as always. I'll let you get back before we start our Hawk Talk, our video post-game show, which you can catch on our YouTube page at the conclusion of tonight. Harbor Hawks dropped this one 8-3 to quickly take you around the rest of the league. Harwich and Chatham have just started up at Veterans Field in the bottom of the first inning. That game's still in a 0-0 deadlock. Wareham currently leading the Falmouth Commodores 2-1 out at Spillane Field in Wareham. That game currently in the bottom of the 4th. 3-1 Bourne, your score out at Doran Park. The Western Division foe of the Harbor Hawks in the Bourne Braves, up by 2 in the top of the 6th inning. In an Eastern Division matchup out at Stony Brook Field in Brewster between the Whitecaps and the YD Red Sox, that game deadlocked at 6-6, currently sitting in the 8th inning. And your final line here from tonight in the 8-3 Cotuit win, Cavaliers 8 runs on 9 hits, no errors, 9 men left on base. Hyannis with 3 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors, and 7 left on. John Baker, the winning pitcher here tonight, moves to 3-2 on the year. Jordan Fowler takes his 2nd loss of the summer, moving to 1 win and 2 losses. 2 hours and 34 minutes, your time of the game tonight. First pitch time was at 5:01 p.m. And once again, your final score, 8-3 in favor of the Cotuit Cavaliers. That'll do it for us here on the broadcast and the post-game show. I'm your host, Lyle Goldstein, signing off. You can catch us tomorrow as the Harbor Hawks return to McKeon Park to take on the Wareham Gatemen at 6 p.m. And until then, enjoy your night. And you've been listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks baseball on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.